Crossroads Media.
Joel needed help. He did everything he possibly could. Now, he held himself accountable after the game, mentioning those 7 turnovers. And if you look, one comes to my mind where he tries to pass it to Furkan. Furkan doesn't know what he's really doing. Ball goes out of bounds. But when you bring the double team the way that they do, sometimes even more than that, and nobody else is stepping up and able to knock down any shots. And if you watch Matisse Thybulle, it's problematic when you can't be a threat whatsoever. It's so easy to disrespect him. It's the same card that happened with Ben Simmons. Oh, Ben? Okay, we'll leave his ass, not even look at him at all, and then we'll bring more pressure, we'll apply more attitude towards Joel Embiid to force him to be as uncomfortable as humanly possible. Now, sometimes he just hits a step back 3. Sometimes the ball's getting knocked out of his hands and he somehow readjusts in midair and knocks down the shot, and oh, by the way, goes to the line as well. Sometimes he's able to throw a wicked pass. I didn't know if it was Zach Wheeler or Joel Embiid with the fastball pass that happened to the opposite side of the floor for Tyrese Maxey to cash in. And this was early in the game where I thought, oh, baby, this is going to be a 40 burger. This is going to be a 44-point burger. Just unfortunately, the referees with some foul called on Joel limited maybe the aggressiveness with his play at times. But yeah, it seemed like there was that emotional ride. But Joel Embiid needed some help. He needed somebody to step up. Matisse Thybulle having 0 points, getting the nod in the starting rotation, unacceptable. And then the Sixers got desperate. When you have to throw out Andre Drummond and Joel, play the big man lineup. Look, it worked a couple of games ago, and I said in that moment, based off of the circumstances, it is what it is. It's not something that you can consistently rely on. And when the team is that flat, they're that dull, the ball movement was pretty damn poor. You think about just the lack of execution. It seemed like tonight just wasn't their night. And that's something that I also kind of touched on in the last post-game show after their 7th straight win. Even if it's against a horrendous team, at some point you just have that clunker. At some point you just have that disappointing game where nobody could really make their shots or the flow just completely evaporated and you chalk it up to one of those nights where it was just poor. Now, I don't know what this game means in the grand scheme of things until I witness their future games. We'll see Boston on Friday. After Boston, they play the Miami Heat. If they win those 2 basketball games and then you look at their 7 straight wins, 1 hiccup along the way, and then they beat the Celtics, they beat the Miami Heat, then it's less impactful. Then it's less where you take less out of it, I guess I should say, right? You look at the bigger sample size and the bigger window of them continuing to put together games, but I also have to imagine that when you're going through, all right, now Tyrese Maxey's back, now you're flirting with Matisse Thybulle in the lineup, this and that, right? We talked about guys getting back, which is helping this overall team get into rhythm. Is this something where I'm overanalyzing and they win the next couple of games, I don't even think about it? Or guys keep coming back, guys keep leaving, this and that. It messes up maybe the flow of things. We'll see how this team bounces back from a bigger picture standpoint when they play the hated Boston Celtics at home in South Philadelphia Friday night at 7:30. I can't wait to see how they come out ready to play. Do they just put this one behind them and they look more like the team that they played over their last 7 games? This is the best opponent they've seen, right? And I'm not going to simplify it to the level of, well, every team they played sucked so much that this just tells you they're not really good and they're just beating up on bad teams. That's unfair. That's too much of a small sample size. 1 game won't tell me that. If you're just going to make that assumption based off of this effort, well, that's not okay with me. Maybe you are right if you feel that way, but I need to see more. I have to see them play 48 minutes, a longer period of time against some of these better teams with Joel as this new player that we've seen so far this year, because yes, he is even a newer player than what we witnessed last season. The amount of times that I've seen all over social media, how in the world did this player really improve this much? How in the world has he added to the repertoire to this insane degree. I don't have the answer for you. I wish I did. I seriously wish I could break it down and really dissect the science to this bad boy. If that's the case, I could probably break the news here and fix the COVID situation we have, because it's just unexplainable, because it doesn't make any sense. Our brains as human beings can't really even process, no pun intended, the information that Joel Embiid improves at the rate that he does. Even though he had the turnover problem, I like the fact that he held himself accountable, but I thought a large product of that is, one, personnel on the floor around him, specifically Matisse Thybulle, and also no one else was making their shots. If somebody else was reliable tonight, it takes the pressure off of Embiid, and you don't have to respect them. If you're on the other side, you don't have to respect any of these guys. I'm saying, I'm not, did that come off as if I was saying you don't have to respect Joel? No. You always have to respect Joel Embiid. You'd be a fool. You'd be a douche if you don't respect Joel Embiid. It's the surrounding pieces. When I know Toby ain't having it, when I know that Seth Curry, Maxey, when I know these guys don't have it, yeah, let's bring two, and let's even apply more pressure to put him on his heels, to put him in some uncomfortable spots. And he just had one of those nights where maybe he didn't have the flow of finding his teammates as smoothly as he has, but I've seen him really think 2 steps ahead as of late. Tonight, not so much. Is it more of the hiccup? Is it more of the norm?